Hello everyone, welcome back to the practical session of field practices in agricultural engineering. Today we are going to demonstrate the practical determination of field capacity. Field capacity corresponds to the superior limit of water available, and also it represents the soil moisture contained in the macropause after the drainage by the action of gravity. Generally, this stage will reach after 48 hours to 72 hours after the saturation. The time greatly depends on the soil texture. Even after this period of time, the gravitational water loss is continued, but usually we consider it as negligible. In this practical, finding a field capacity involves irrigating a test plot until the soil profile reaches to the saturation at about depth of 1 meter. Then after, the plot is covered to prevent the evaporation. The soil moisture is measured in every 12 hours until the changes are very small, at which the point soil moisture content is the estimate of field capacity.
Let's see what are the materials and instruments we need for this practical. First, we need a tape to measure the dimensions of the plot in the selected place, a height to remove the vegetation or grass cover in the selected place, so then we can avoid the effect of transpiration, and also we can use this to create the bund around the plot. We need a bucket to fill the water into the plot, a black polythene to cover the plot after filling water, so then we can avoid the effect of evaporation, soil auger to penetrate into the soil, spatula to remove the soil from auger, polythene bags to collect the soil samples, and also labels to label the soil samples, moisture cans to determine the moisture content by using gravimetric method, and also we need a balance and oven in case of determining moisture content.
Now we have to select the representative plot in the field. Please be sure that the groundwater table is not within the 2 meters from the surface. Now we have demarcated the plot in the field with the dimensions of 1.5 into 1.5 square meters like this. By using measuring tape and pegs as two right angle triangles with 1.5 meter sides and hypotenuse of 2.21 meters. Now we have to remove the debris and the vegetative cover on the selective plot to prevent the transpiration.
Now we have cleared the surface, then we have to create a bund around the plot. After preparing the bund, pour water until the soil gets saturated. The needed amount of water should be calculated based on porosity, bulk density, and available moisture content in the soil. Now cover the plot with black polythene and keep it for 12 hours until we get the reading. Now we have to get soil samples from 25 centimeters, 50 centimeters, 75 centimeters and 1 meter depth for 12 hours interval until the values of two successive samples are nearly equal.
This is the way to record data. Here M1 is the mass of empty moisture can. M2 is the mass of moisture can with wet soil. M3 is a mass of moisture can with dry soil. Then the moisture percentage of each depth is calculated and get the average moisture percentage from replicates for soil samples taken at 12 hours intervals. Then we have to plot the graph of moisture content versus time in each layer like this. The lowest influx value of each layer of the soil represents the field capacity of that layer.